Alright, so this is the very fun situation where somebody goes away on an extended holiday and somebody else has to look after the fish. So what I'm going to do now is make a little video of all the do's and don'ts of looking after an aquarium while somebody's away. Now, the primary concern of this particular aquarium is there's quite a lot of fish for quite a small tank. So the first consideration that we have here is this tank is definitely overstocked for the size of the tank. Now, the reason why this particular tank is overstocked is because these koi usually lived outside in the garden because there was a pond. But of course, there was a leak in the pond before our buddy went away, because that's how it seems to work. So therefore the fish have ended up in the fish tank to obviously overload this particular tank. Now, for a short period of time, the fact that this tank's overloaded is probably not the end of the world. But over a long period of time, this will be a problem. The reason why it will be a problem is because koi get very, very big. Much bigger than this tank. So therefore, as the fish grow, and as the fish produce more waste, then the bioload on this system will get exceeded. Once the bioload of this system is exceeded, then some of the fish have to die. That's the way nature works. So during this video, I'll just tell you through all of the considerations for this tank. But if this was your aquarium, then you would need to consider either getting a bigger tank or removing these koi. Because long term, these koi cannot reside in this tank. This tank is barely big enough to hold the goldfish, little what the koi. So that is something that must be addressed further down the track. But for the sake of this video is about what do we need to do to make sure these fish are still alive when our buddy gets back from his trip. The first thing we're going to talk about is lighting. So this tank has a retro-fitted LED light on the tank, so you can change the colors and so forth. At the moment, the battery needs replacing, so we're not going to play around with that. But the long and short of it is the light is only on this aquarium for you to watch the fish. So therefore, considering there's no plants or corals or anything photosynthetic in this tank, and there's plenty of ambient light in this position, I would not turn this aquarium light on at all unless you particularly wanted to watch the fish. Because turning the light on is just going to increase algae and give you something else to clean. There is no reason whatsoever why this tank needs the light on, nor is there any reason why you need to play with the colors. It does not matter what color you have the fish. You can just set the color to make it so it looks good to you. It is of no concern to the fish whatsoever. So if our plan here is keep the fish alive, my suggestion would be pretty much keep the light off. Now, the maximum time you'd ever want a light on for an aquarium like this would be about 8 hours. Having the light on for over 8 hours is going to cause too much algae, and therefore that means too much cleaning. So therefore you can consider putting your lights on a timer if you want them on a timer. But don't have them on for too long, otherwise you're going to have more to clean. Evaporation. You will be shocked how much water evaporates. Water evaporates often to the extent that new hobbyists will fear they've got a leak. So how quickly the water goes down, and also how much it changes. Some weeks the water goes down heaps, and other weeks the water doesn't seem to go down so fast, to the point where people will really wonder whether their tank's leaking. But what's going on with the atmosphere or the humidity or your air conditioning are all things that are going to vary how much evaporation you're going to get. But it is absolutely shocking for new hobbyists to find how much water actually evaporates. So therefore, on a semi-regular basis, as in once a week at least, you're going to want to get a bucket, you're going to want to fill it up with water, and then you're going to want to put some water Ager in the water and then tip it into the tank to compensate for the water evaporating. Fish keeping is 50% about water quality and 50% about nutrients. Now, water quality is a very easy thing to manage. You can either get yourself a fancy looking test kit like this and check it yourself, or you can bring a sample down to Majestic Aquariums and we can check it for you. But also bring a little video so we can see what's going on. In the video, we want to see the filters flowing, we want to see the fish swimming around, and we want to see any bits and pieces that you might have for the aquarium. So once again, 50% of your success is going to be your water quality, and 50% of your success is going to be your nutrients. So let's just have a quick chat about food. Now, this food here, New Life Spectrum, is one of the highest quality foods you can buy. This one here, besides the fact you get a very good looking man on the picture, that is okay food. And then these foods here are really like TV dinner cheap crap. So these ones here, if I would probably consider throwing them in the bin, or give them to somebody you don't like, or just only introduce a little bit every now and then. Think of them like 2-minute noodles. It's just processed crap. Now this one here is a flake. So this is a higher quality Australian made flake, but it's still a flake. So it's still processed crap, besides the good looking guy. Let's not get over that. So that's still a flake. Now this one is another league, because this one here is a very good quality food. So if you fed that one, you'll win. This one a bit every now and then I'm happy with. This one, we've discussed that. So now as far as additives are concerned, we've got some Prime, which is a very good water ager. We want to put that in every time we put new water in the aquarium. We've also got some Stability. Now I'm a little bit scared of the Stability because I prefer to put the Stability in the fridge once it's opened. So if it's not been super hot, maybe it's okay. But once it's opened, I'm not too confident. Though I don't even think it says it on the packet. But with all these bacteria products, I prefer them in the fridge. So if we just put a little bit in, maybe it's okay, maybe not. And then what other bits and pieces we've got? Over here we've got a super cheap water ager. Probably fine. So that one and that one are sort of the same thing. And then we also have another which regulates pH. Okay. Reduces nitrate. That's an interesting claim. Anyway, so it's really good too when you bring a video to Majestic Aquariums. Line up all the stuff you got for your fish tank so we can see that as well. It really helps with our advice. And once again, we will analyze your water and we will look over your tank, and then we'll give you a course of action to make sure that your fish are as happy and healthy as you. Now, when it comes to actually feeding the fish, I tend to feed the fish about 5 times a week. So not every single day. So as we just discussed, this is my go-to food. That's a very good food. A little bit of that wouldn't hurt, and we've discussed that. So what we're basically doing is putting like a little pinch of food in 5 times a week. In the morning is preferable, but the thing that really matters is the belly of the fish. So this fish here is very good. He does not have a really fat belly, but he also doesn't have a skinny belly. So all in all, the weight of these fish is excellent. Some of the things like your fantails are a naturally fat fish, so bear that in mind. But what we don't want to see is the belly going up. If that's happening, then we're feeding the fish not enough. And we don't really want to see a big fat belly either in most of these fish. So once again, when you bring us the video to Majestic Aquariums, if you bring us a little video so we can see the bellies of the fish, then we can alert you to any problems that we might have. Now, when you feed your fish, you want to create a bit of a regular routine. Then if you notice over time the belly's getting skinnier, then just increase what you're doing a little bit more. And then over time, if you notice the belly's getting fat, just decrease what you feed a little bit more. The other thing I'll say too is that if you're getting some fish that are getting really fat and some fish that are getting really skinny in the same tank, then you often vary the types of food you've got. Because some fish are going to do better with large pellets, others are going to do well with flakes, others will go for small pellets. So varying the type of food definitely helps to make sure that certain fish don't get an advantage over the other fish. And once again, if you change your feeding habits, you're basically looking at 1 to 2 months to make any difference. Anything you change with your aquarium is going to require time to see a difference. So you change it now, and then you expect a biological lag of a minimum of 3 weeks before it makes any difference at all. So you have to be patient with your aquariums. And don't change things drastically, change things slowly, and then be patient until you expect results. When I go to feed my fish, I'll put a bit of food in, and as a guide, I will normally aim to have the food all eaten in 30 seconds. That means that every little dot is gone after 30 seconds, and that usually works out about right. Over time, you can vary that amount, but what they eat in 30 seconds, 5 times a week, normally gets me out of trouble with most fish.